One, two, three. I think that'll be good. Hey guys, what's up? Hope you all are doing good today. So today was the new episode. I'm so unprepared. Sorry guys. Let me let you know. Gonna give you a heads up. I have this thing set up so weird. I didn't like the way it was capturing my face. I look like Langton from American Horror Story. I look like the demon. You see my eyes all shadowy and everything. So I had to hold this candle, this light, to give me a little bit more light on my face. I have nowhere else to put it, so I'm going to be holding it as I'm talking to you guys what I thought about the new episode. I hope that's okay with you all. I hope you can get past that, and we could just get into the conversation of the new episode. And it was titled "Return to Murder House," which was a very exciting episode that I was looking forward to as well. As much as I was to see the Coven witches come back, this one I was very excited to see because we get to go back to season one, where it all started, where it all began, and get more info about Michael's story, like what happened to him, what happened after Constance you know took him in and raised him. How did he end up being with Kathy Bates, his character? She ended up being his mom and all that good stuff. So in this episode, we get a lot of uh, questions answered, but at the same time, a little bit more questions that need to be answered. But yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Another thing why I was very excited is because I'm sure a lot of you were very excited about it too, is because not only do we get to go back to the murder house, but we get to see familiar characters from season one come back. So especially Jessica Lange. I've always thought she would steal the show all the time every time she comes out in the series. But yeah, I was very excited to see her come back to play her character Constance in this one. So enough talk. Let's just get right to it. We're gonna be going and playing this. I'm not gonna have any audios, guys. Sorry. Last time I put a review about the show, I got a copyright thing, so I hope it doesn't do it to me again this time. And I'm gonna be skipping a lot of stuff, just talking about the things, the highlights of like what I liked about the show. So here we go. Let's get to it. Yeah, in the beginning, I'm starting to like her character. Emma Roberts' character. I don't know. She's starting to grow on me on this one. It's like I remember in one of the scenes, I thought this was hilarious. They're trying to be like a couple, but it's obvious that they're not. And well, yeah. Anyways, we see here, they're trying to get to the house, pretending to be a couple, blah 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 blah. And then that's when we get a shot of the murder house. I wonder if that place exists. I haven't read that much about it, but I wonder if it does exist. It'd be a cool place to visit. I wonder if it is all trashy, old looking stuff like that. I wonder if it is truly abandoned. And we get the opening credits and all that. Anyways, blah 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 blah. Sorry, we're gonna skip the commercials. Blah 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 blah. We don't need to see that. So we see they're going into the house. Everything looks the same. I really like that. Everything looks the same. I thought they have to rebuild it and everything, but no. This house is just the same as it was before, and it's amazing. He already senses that there's darkness in this house. The spirits are hiding from them. Blah blah blah. Anyways, blah blah blah. I think they were hilarious together. I thought they were pretty funny together. This is when they summon to see the spirits to come out from hiding so they could see them. Oh yeah, let's go back a little bit. I thought that was cool that we got to see the nurse from season one. This episode, let me talk about something before we continue. In this episode, I felt like, yeah, you really, because I try to put myself in people's shoes who haven't seen season one at all. Like, will they still understand it and everything? Part of it, yes. The other part of me, no, because I felt like you have to see season one in order for you to understand most of these characters, where they come from, their background story, because they don't get to say that much about them. Um, and I felt like, you know what, maybe they didn't have to, because it was just gonna, like, take too much time. This episode was mostly about talking about Michael's character, like what happened to him after, he was being raised by Constance, what happened to him. It was mostly about him, learning more about him, because that was Emma Roberts' mission, her character, and the black guy's mission, to see, to get more info, like who is Michael? What is he? Is he a warlock, or is he something really bad? Than we thought. Oh my god, I thought that was so cool that they brought her back. Well, of course she's back. She's playing the other character. Another thing I will mention, it was cool to see Tate too. Poor guy. And I'm glad that they brought back the dad. I'm glad that he came back to reprise his role. He's there giving, counseling Tate still. And it sucks, for Tate, like, he's trying to get help to be better. I remember the dad saying something to him like, this is who you are, you killed a lot of people. I don't think she's ever going to forgive you. The girlfriend, I forgot her name, Violet, she's not going to forgive you, after everything you did. I mean, you did rape her mother. So it's like, it's tough, And poor guy, you feel sorry for him, but at the same time, in this part at least, I still didn't feel sorry for him, because he was just messed up. From what I remember in season 1, he was just a messed up kid, and I didn't like him at all. He was just crazy. Part of me felt sorry for him, but the other part of me is just like, you're just messed up, man. Like, you need more, you need help. So that's when they, meet the warlock and the witch. Oh man, I can't believe I forgot her name. What's her name, man? Anyways, it will come back to me later. Let's just skip on ahead. Oh yeah, one thing, I don't know. Tate comes out, right? That Evan Peters, reprises his role as Tate, but then he was also playing that gay guy in the beginning of the season, and it's like, I don't know. To me, people who are not too familiar with this series, they're gonna be very confused. Like, why is Sarah Paul Anderson, excuse me, playing that character from the beginning, and now she's playing this witch, and now she later on comes back as Billy whatever her name was. I think she's gonna come on in a bit. If I was like, the audience, I would be, and then, I'm barely watching this season, I'm getting into it, I would be so confused. I think, yeah, that's why I felt like you really have to see the other seasons in order for you to understand, to catch up, so that you won't feel that confused. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, Sarah Paul Anderson, the character that she played in the beginning, I forgot her name, the lady with the purple hair and the cane, could have been played by some other actress. Maybe low budget, I don't know, but she did a good job regardless. But I just felt like that way, people who are barely getting into this won't feel that confused, but at the same time, they have to watch the other seasons. So, whatever. There she is. Uh, Howard. Willie Howard, wherever the hell she is. I forget her name, but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not that familiar with the character. Sorry, I have other things to remember. Um, I'm bad at remembering things. I only remember things that are like important to me. I'm sorry. So yeah, it was cool to see her too. Let me just mention this. When I was watching season 1, and she was when Constance was talking to her about, the future, she sensed it, and she did say, like, there is the Pope. Every time they elect a new Pope, he's the first one to see the secret, a box that reveals the secret, and the secrets of, like, how the world is gonna end, and it's a note saying exactly what's gonna happen. Oh my god! And this was my favorite part. I was so happy to see her back, Jessica Lange as Constance. Oh my god! I don't know how they do it, but it's like she hasn't aged or something. I don't know if they use, like, some kind of special effects to make them look still pretty good or something, but she looks still pretty good. I was very impressed. I don't know if she just takes really good care of her skin or whatever, but she looks good. Anyway, no, 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 no. We don't need to know about that, the commercials or anything. Hey, 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 going too far. So anyways, in this part, they're asking her, she's like, what are you doing in my house and all that good stuff. She's like, whatever. But let's just get to the main part. I'm sorry, guys. I really didn't care for that much. Although it is important, but I just want to get to the highlights. I'm sorry. This part. I am so glad, of course, Frances, even though she's playing my favorite character, Myrtle Snow, I liked her as the maid too. I'm glad that they brought her to play this character as well, and I'm glad that those two characters still have that anger against each other, that hatred. I like this part where she's checking like everything to make sure everything's clean, but she's still a sucky maid or whatever. I thought she was a good maid, however. In season one, I thought she was doing a really good job cleaning up, from what I remember, and helping the mom, eat, cooking for them, just making sure everything was nice and clean. So yeah, I love that she played this character. Now let's talk about this part, her character, her story. I felt like in this episode, Return to Murder House, it was giving a lot of closure to the characters in season one, especially for this character, the maid, because I like that Constance tells, oh my God, what's her name? Emma Roberts, uh, her character. I need you to get rid of this red-headed bitch and all that good stuff because I just can't stand her. I don't want to be with her anymore or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, so how are they gonna do it? Is she finally gonna be with her mother? Because if you remember in season one, in Halloween, she was able, spirits are able to move freely around the world to go wherever they want. In that episode, you see the maid, she goes visits her mother at the hospital or the nursing home, and her mother is like already like dying, but they still have her in with life support. But she did her mother the favor of just like taking the thing off her mouth and letting her pass on. And I believe she also suffocated her with a pillow, and that was, I think, yeah, she did even mention later on in the episode. Um, so yeah, like she went to go visit her mother. As her mother passed on, her spirit, her mother's spirit, is behind her and telling her, "Come with me, come with me to heaven, cross over with me." But the maid tells her, "I can't." She knows she can't because she's stuck in that house. Her body, her corpses, her bones are still buried underneath, uh, in this house's yard, so she can't pass on, which is pretty sad. I think that would really suck, like if you were stuck in that character situation, your loved ones are being passed on, but you can't. You're just stuck in that house forever. That's just like the most saddest thing ever. Like you're dead, but you just can't be with your loved ones. You can't be in the afterlife with your loved ones. You're just stuck in that house with these other people that you're trying to make a family with, but at the same time, you'd rather be with, the family you grew up with, your family, your real family. So I thought that was sad. But let's see, let's just skip on ahead. This is the part where she tells her, I need you to get rid of that red-headed bitch, and I'll start talking to you about my grandson. So yeah, looking for the bodies, he's all like, oh, there's so many dead bodies, and Emma Ross like, no, that's not the right one. In that part, I thought they were gonna do something bad to her. I thought like they couldn't find her bones, so they were just like gonna be cast some spell or something to make her disappear. But I thought it was not gonna work because this house has a power even witches cannot do. Even Cordelia, when she tried to save Queenie from the Cortez Hotel, she couldn't do it because her powers were not good enough. But you see, this is when I start liking her character because like that's when she started doing good things. Like she's trying to redeem herself, because it's like she said later on, I'm trying to do good this time because I didn't do good my first life. I didn't do good when I came back to life, the second life. So I want to make up for it. I want to make up, for my third chance. I thought I kind of got a little sad, but not that much because it's not that emotional. But I was happy because like now she gets to, move on. She gets to go be with her mother. They ask her, "Where do you want to be buried?" And of course, she wanted to be buried, where her mother was buried in the cemetery. I thought that was really nice. That's what I mean about the closure. That's one of the closures that these characters get. So I really like that a lot. So yeah. Blah 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 blah. Right here. This part did get to me a little bit because it's like, she gets to go to heaven with her mom finally after so many. God knows how long. It's been years, 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 years. So I don't know. I thought that was just like a very touching moment. You know, I love that actress, guys. By the way, I think she's a terrific actress. I remember I saw her in the show, The Mist. I don't know if some of you guys seen it. I would recommend it. It's okay. You know, it's still pretty good. It's not as good as the movie The Mist, but I would recommend it. It did get canceled, but I thought she does a terrific job in that show. I think she's beautiful. I love that, her eye thing and everything. I think she's just beautiful. And you know what I thought? Let me just get to the show. Hurry, 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 hurry. We don't care. We don't care. All right, this is where Constance starts talking about that. Before it gets to that, um, you know what? I know they're trying to they're trying to cross over season 1 and season 3 together in this season. I thought, well, they could involve a little bit of season 2, because I remember I was rewatching season 2 not too long ago, and I remember that doctor who was kind of like, one of Hitler's followers. He was doing experiments on those the sick people. They're injecting them with God knows what, making them be more superhuman or something. But they all had like those tumors, those pimples, God knows what. They were like mutated. And I thought, in this apocalypse, they kind of do look similar. So what if that had to, what if they are going to do some connections with season 2 that, I don't know, that maybe those infected people are related to, the monsters that we see in the apocalypse are related to, like, the monsters we saw in season 2. So they're talking about Constance, they finally get to talk to Constance. She's finally going to tell us, what happened with you and Michael? Like, did you give him up? How did you handle it? Because in the end of season 1, we saw that, she that she witnessed the babysitter got killed by Michael. So after that, it just ends. So it's like, oh shoot, I left it like that. That's how I left off. We were like thinking, oh well, another messed up child, poor Constance. And anyways, she's talking about how he was born. She was born. Michael was born from a mother, who was raped by her son, Tate, and she died after childbirth because she was spilling too much blood and blah blah blah. I don't have to explain myself. Some of you already know what happened. So yeah, she's giving all this story. Um, how I felt about this part when she starts talking about, I was a mother of 4 children. It made me think like, poor Constance, man. And then when she talks about like how she kills herself, um, taking those pills, drugging herself up so she could no longer be part of that world. Because when she says like, she tells them, Michael being born in this world and me taking him in, it gave me purpose to be a mother, to redeem myself, to correct the mistakes I've made from my past children, so I could do good with this one. But it sucks how Michael ended up being up to be. He ended up being, a bad kid as well, killing animals. Like she said, it all started off with rats, and then with bigger animals, rabbits or God knows what. And then it started being, his first kill was the babysitter. See, he started killing rats and all that. And then after that, Michael tries to kill her in her bedroom. And that's when she realized that, and then when she saw that he also killed the priest, she just couldn't take it anymore. Like, she felt like, that's when she started seeing, you know, I, I now know my real purpose. I was supposed to be a mother to monsters, practically. And I thought, that's sad, because it sucks that Jessica Lange always plays a character that's really messed up, and her character never gets a happy ending. Her character didn't get a happy in the first one. She didn't. She sort of got a happy ending in season 2, but it was still sad, and you know, it was mostly sad at the same time. Season 3, of course, Fiona, the character she played as Fiona, she was a bitch. She deserved what she got, but at the same time, you still feel sorry for her. she plays characters that you still feel sorry for. Even though she mostly plays a bitch for her characters, you still feel sorry for them. Especially this character. And, oh yeah, the cats. Yeah, he said I'm getting cats. And so, I don't know, man. And then in season four, Freak Show, she also plays like a bitchy character, but at the same time, it's not a. It's still a sad ending. Her characters always have sad endings. They're not mostly happily ever afters. Another one, another sad ending because she felt like I didn't do good, but at the same time, it's kind of okay because she gets to die in the house where she's familiar with these people or whatever. I guess like these are her family members now. Madison. I told you her name was gonna come up later. So yeah, she's telling Madison and the other guy everything that's happened. And Pobrecita, she felt like, think about it. Her first child, I remember, it was the one that looks all messed up, the one that had to live in the attic. She had that child, and then her second child was Tate, who ended up being a murderer. He ended up killing a bunch of students at school, and ended up being killed. And then she lost her daughter that got ran over in Halloween. Um, and then Michael, which she thought like this time I'm gonna do good, it ends up being bad. So it's like she can't catch a break, and it sucks that she lived this whole life, struggling, trying to be a good mother, but it just didn't work out. And there he is, Tate, Tate, Michael trying to kill her. I already thought he was gonna kill her, but then he has that conflict, Michael, in this show. I've noticed like in this season, he has like that terrible conflict, and you feel sad. You feel bad for Michael too because it's like he's trying to figure out like where he belongs. He can't help who he is, and he can't help that he kills animals and then he starts killing people. But he's trying to find a place where he belongs. He he thought he could be with her. She could handle him, but she couldn't. So let's just skip on ahead, whatever. But bottom line, I was just so happy to see Jessica Lange come back to reprise her role. Once again, let me just say, she did an amazing job. Once again, I felt like she stole the show. I felt like this show, American Horror Story, needs more Jessica Lange. I don't know, some of you didn't like her. Most of you did. I personally liked her. I think she's a terrific actress. That's what got me into the show from the very beginning because of her acting. The way she portrays these characters is just so amazing. She plays a good bitch. She's a talented actress. I like that. She tries to do something different with these characters. Give them a little different accent and all that good stuff. So I think she's very, very talented. I felt like they lost her. They lost a really good, talented actress in the show because since she didn't come back in Hotel, they had Lady Gaga instead, but different story. So poor thing. So that's when she decides, to take her own life. She drugs herself, kills herself, but she saw the good side of it. She gets to die in the house where her kids were, because from time to time in season one, I know she would go visit them and everything, but finally she felt like she could be at peace with them. So she gets to spend the afterlife with her children. But, like she said, I don't want to see Michael. I don't want to see my grandson ever again. So yeah, anyways, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember that little girl. But she calls her mama, her grandma, so I don't know. I don't know why it's so weird he's still doing that shit. But I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he reprised his role as a dad. Okay, now let me talk about this part, this scene. When Michael was looking for his grandma, the only family member he had, and finds her dead, this part did get to me, I will tell you, because I think he did a good job, that actor, showing his grief, his sadness over the death of his grandma, because it's his only family member he had. And when he's like crying and everything, saying like, "I'm sorry, it's my fault. I did this." It made me feel bad for him because it's like you feel sorry for him because he can't help who he is. Like he knows that what he's doing is wrong and everything, but he can't help it at the same time. Like he just he's just not a perfect kid. He's just messed up. And then when his grandpa appears, when you think about it, um, now he wants to help him, counsel him and everything. So yeah, blah blah blah. He tries to help him out, but it just basically. Oh yeah, that was messed up. When he finally sees his dad. I don't know if this is his first time. He tells him like, I'm not your dad. I don't know where you heard this stuff from other spirits. Like, you're like, you're just a monster. I could never, you know, have something like you as a monster come from me. But I'm like, if you don't remember Tate, you used to be a murderer. You killed a bunch of students or whatever. You were pretty messed up as well. Pretty cool that she did a cameo. Yeah, why not? Like, just have her come up just with this one little shot. So he mentions the dad, like, little by little he starts losing him, that he can't, he's still killing people. Oh, yeah, so we see that, oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Sorry. That he's wearing the leather outfit. So it's like, let's rewind back to the beginning of the episodes of Apocalypse. The scene where Evan Peters, his character, is getting fucked by this guy. Is it really Michael fucking him? Because I always thought like, what if it was Tate? Because I remember Tate in, when the first thing that came across my mind was Tate, because he was the one who wore that. So is Tate, like I remember in one of the videos I talked about, like, so is Evan Peters' character fucking himself? If you think about it, he's pretty much fucking himself. But so I hope we get an answer soon. Like, so then was Michael really fucking Evan Peters' character? Because he kept saying Evan Peters' gay character would always come across Michael saying like, "Oh, you had a good time, whatever," and Michael would always be like, "I didn't fuck you. I wouldn't fuck you if you're the last gay man on earth. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even fuck you, blah 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 blah." Just making him feel bad or whatever. But yet now I question like, so did you really fuck him? So you're just trying to make yourself like, no, I wouldn't fuck you, but you really did. So that's something I'll be getting an answer of. And then the dad, his grandpa tells him like, I can't help you either. It's just like, well, what the fuck? Oh, and then let's talk about this. I'm so happy that the mom came out. I was kind of worried like, oh, maybe she doesn't come out after all. But I'm glad she came back. Excuse me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I just gotta make sure that my video is still ready. This is a very, very long review. I'm sorry, but I just love talking about it. So if you're still with me, thank you so much. Like I said, feel free to jump into the conversation, leave your thoughts, your comments. What was your favorite part? It's a very long video, but there's so much to talk about. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. You rock. So yeah. Anyways, I was very happy to see the mom come back. Vivian, although her hair does look a little bit lighter and it's not as red as it was, but I'm not sure if that's how it was in the season 1 too. When they were talking in this part, when he was saying, are you still mad at me? He's like, I don't know. Like, I thought they were talking about like they're still mad at each other after about the affair in season 1, all that good stuff. But no, she was mad at him because she even said it. Because you were mostly giving now your attention to Michael instead of your baby boy, your other baby son. So that's why she was mad. But then at the same time, she's like, but then I don't think you had a choice. Meaning, like, I think she knew, like, I understand how you felt, like, since our baby is dead and he can never grow up, um, you wanted someone, you want someone that does grow up. You want to have that chance to be a dad again, which it is kind of sad when you think about it. Um, to fix his mistakes, but since he couldn't help Michael, it's like another failure. So it sucks. So anyways, one thing I didn't get to mention this. I had a theory, a crazy theory. Like, what if the what's her name? The girl, the witch that comes out in the beginning, and then she also came out in the Coven House. The one that's super powerful that they thought that she could be the next Supreme. I hope you. Oh, a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Her character. Um, I thought I had a crazy theory. Like, what if she's the sister of Michael? I had a crazy theory. And what what if they do have to fight each other, to save the world, I don't know. A lot of that was going crazy in my mind. Like what if she was the baby that they found in the basement in season one, and she's actually still alive? They think that she's dead, but she's growing up, and she's got powers too. I mean, that would make sense, because she was born from the same mother. You know, let's have Michael be the evil one, and let's have her character be the light, the good side. You know what I mean? And I thought that was so cool. Like darkness and light collide. They fight against each other. But that didn't end up being the case because when I watched rewatched season one, yeah, I heard that the baby was dead, and it started breathing, but it was dead. Like it's a ghost, and it's permanently stuck like that forever because it's a baby forever. So, anyways, I am very happy to see her come back. She was the girl, the actress who played. Oh, what's her name? A lot of you are gonna hate me for this. You're like, how can you forget? She played. What's her face from season two? I forgot her name, guys. She also came out in Freak Show, and they showed her story of her character, how she ended up being in the asylum in season two. So I'm glad that they brought her back. I love that actress because we didn't see her that much anymore, but I'm glad they brought her back. I actually got to meet her, believe it or not. She came to my city for the Comic Con, and I had the honor of meeting her. So I was just very happy to meet her. I asked her questions about how's it working with the other cast and everything. We got into a good conversation. So I even got a picture of her. So it was a cool moment. Okay, so anyways, so now they're asking the mom questions about more to get more information about Michael. They're already done talking with the dad. The dad tried to help him, but the dad realized like, I can't. He's just the way he is. I don't know what else to do. I just can't help him. He needs more help than I thought. Now it's the mom's turn to give him more information about Michael. Now the mom was explaining about how these satanic worshippers came to the house. They sensed Michael in this house, and they felt like this was the portal from hell to their world. That house was the portal from hell to get to their world. So let's see. Yeah, they're gonna sacrifice her, blah blah blah, whatever, blah 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 blah. Kind of gross. Not too gory. I noticed